Donald Trump recently made a sharp and extremely dangerous statement. And this time, Ukraine was in the crosshairs. The former US president publicly declared that it is Kyiv and not Moscow that is allegedly delaying the signing of a peace agreement. These words are already being called the most controversial and scandalous in recent times because they play directly into the Kremlin's hands and could fundamentally change the West's attitude toward further support for Ukraine.
And now, more details in our report. You're watching the Glavred channel, and I'm your host, Evgeny Serov. Please like and subscribe to the channel.
While addressing a group of gathered journalists, Donald Trump stated that, according to his personal assessment of the situation, Russia is currently ready to sign a formal peace agreement, while Ukraine is showing an unwillingness to reach a compromise. Moreover, he made it very clear that he considers Volodymyr Zelensky to be the key figure, who is preventing the end of the war. When asked why negotiations have not yet produced results, Trump replied briefly and bluntly, "Zelensky." This statement instantly spread through global media and caused a political firestorm. In effect, Trump publicly cast doubt on the Ukrainian position that peace is only possible with the full restoration of the country's territorial integrity. He made it clear that he expects greater flexibility and willingness to reach an agreement from Kyiv, even if that agreement would be painful. At the same time, he did not voice any specific demands toward Russia, which immediately sparked a wave of criticism from European politicians and security experts. In diplomatic circles, it is already being said that such statements could become a turning point. Until now, the main line of the West has been that it is Russia that bears responsibility for the continuation of the war. Moscow has rejected Ukraine's fundamental conditions, issued stringent ultimatums, and has not shown any willingness for a genuine ceasefire. However, now a contrary interpretation has been voiced by the President of the United States, and this changes the tone of the entire discussion. The Ukrainian position remains unchanged. Kyiv is not ready to discuss peace that involves giving up territories or legalizing the occupation. Zelensky has repeatedly emphasized that any territorial concessions violate the constitution of Ukraine and weaken the very idea of international law. From the perspective of Kyiv, freezing the conflict or fixing the current frontline positions would only postpone a future war and give Russia ample time to regroup. However, Trump's statements increase the pressure on the Ukrainian leadership. Experts are already voicing concerns that the White House may use rhetoric about prolonging peace as an argument to reconsider the amount of aid or to change the terms of support, especially against the backdrop of growing war fatigue in Western societies and domestic political problems in the US. Ukraine's European allies reacted to Trump's words with noticeable caution. In private comments, diplomats admit such statements undermine the united front of support for Kyiv and give the Kremlin a powerful propaganda advantage. Russian officials and state-controlled media outlets are already frequently and actively quoting the words of the American president, presenting them as clear proof that the West is now tired of Ukraine. Particular attention is being paid to the fact that Trump called Vladimir Putin ready to make a deal. At the same time, he did not specify on what terms Russia is allegedly ready to end the war. This has sparked a wave of questions. Are we talking about a real peace or about an agreement that would in fact legitimize the seized territories and allow Moscow to retain control over the occupied regions? It is important to understand such statements are being made at a time when the situation on the front remains extremely tense and neither side is achieving a decisive advantage. It is precisely during such periods that diplomatic wording takes on special significance, as it can influence not only negotiations, but also morale, command calculations, and strategic plans. Thus, Trump's statement has become not just a loud phrase, but a potential turning point. It sharpens contradictions among the allies, strengthens the Kremlin's position in the information war, and puts Ukraine in an extremely difficult position. In the coming weeks, it will become clear whether these words were simply part of a political game or the beginning of a new stage in the US approach to the war.